From LALATE News headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Mornings LALATE.
The toast is toasting and the butter is buttering. I'm here, you're here, and millions of $1,400 third stimulus checks will be here as well. It's a green day with green beer, greenbacks, and green Federal Reserve and green stimulus checks. Where is that $1,400 third stimulus check? I have the big updates about it today. The $1,400 third stimulus check already arrived by direct deposits to millions of viewers already this morning. Who are they? Meantime, other viewers have not seen it yet post for direct deposit for other accounts. I have those viewers as well. Elsewhere, there is new indication that the $1,400 third stimulus check could land tomorrow and crash into your bank account in the new morning. I'll have those details as well. And a new twist, which you're only hearing on this channel, that some people expecting direct deposit may actually receive paper check. When will that paper check be coming? Your $1,400 third stimulus check is coming in the next few days. That's the promise from the White House. Meantime, the other major breaking news in a day of green beer, greenbacks, is also the Green Federal Reserve. It's meeting today, and it's singularly the most important statement to come from the Federal Reserve in nearly 6 months. I'll have all the anticipation of what's happening. I'll also have new video from Chuck Schumer talking about your stimulus check, statements from the Vice President talking about your stimulus check, and also Dr. Fauci referring to what's happening with the pandemic. New news from Ford and new news from Snap, as a lot of things are happening across the board. The butter is buttering. I'm here, you're here, and it's time for a big Mornings LA, starting right now. Morning and congratulations, because millions of Americans see a $1,400 third stimulus check in their bank account this morning. I'll be going over who that is. I'll also be going over those who have not received it, when it could be coming later today and tomorrow. I have all those details and more. And good morning. Happy St. Patrick's Day. How are you? How are you? Are you feeling green with the beer yet? Throughout the day, I will be delivering you all the lucky charms you can have. And if you're wondering, I am wearing green. It's just sort of the lighting. It's making it look all sort of white. This is a green shirt with white lines, and I even have, yes, your green chapstick. So thank you for tuning in. If you have not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. We're going to have a lot of fun today. We're going to have a lot of money, and we're going to have a lot of updates. Boy, a lot of details across the board. And this is one of those days that live chats really help, because I will be going into the live chats on the video starting right after this and the one after that, because I want to see what's going on with you and your bank account. Well, I don't want to be in your bank account. I want to see whether you're receiving the $14 stimulus check. I have big updates, so make sure you subscribe. Also, like this video, and if you've not become a member, consider becoming a member. The link's at the top of the chat and also in the pinned comment. Millions of Americans received their $1,400 third stimulus check by direct deposit this morning. Others did not. What should you know to start? This video clearly is addressing 3 questions. Have I received the stimulus check? Then what next? I haven't received the stimulus check. When is it coming? And also, when should you be concerned and when should you not be concerned? I have all those details and more, so stay with me to the very end, because I got a lot of news. Trust me, this is a full 30-minute video with a lot of stuff about your direct deposit. First, who received the $1,400 third stimulus check by direct deposit this morning? Viewers that use Bank America sent me private messages on social media this morning saying they saw it posting early after dawn. So if you are a Bank America customer, whether it's on SSI or SSDI, Social Security or Railroad benefits, you would have seen the deposits start to post. Moreover, what I want you to know is that if you hear in this recording other people having heard their stimulus checks from that bank that you also bank with, I have updates for that for you as well. Also, what I'm hearing this morning is that people on Direct Express card have yet to see the direct deposit appear. And it's currently about 9 o'clock on the West Coast, 12 o'clock on the East Coast. Guess what? I'm with you throughout the day, so things are going to happen, and I'm going to update you as soon as things start to post into people's bank accounts. So stay with me throughout the day. This is what you need to know, is that millions of Americans started to see the direct deposit post this morning. But even if it did not post to your account this morning, it may still post throughout the day. This is the way direct deposits post. They start to post and appear in people's bank accounts sporadically throughout the day. Two people that bank at the same bank of Hillary may see an amount of the same amount appear in their ledger or in their balance at different times throughout the day. One could be at 8 a.m., one could be at 12 noon, one could be at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. When is the time frame to start to think that that window of that day is starting to close? It's generally around closing hours of that day. So it's early in the morning, folks. We still have a lot of time for things to post. I specifically know that at least in Los Angeles, countless bank accounts show things posting throughout the whole morning into the early afternoon. So it's just the start of the day. That is the good news. Second, the single most important indicator of whether or not you may receive the stimulus check today is if someone else banks at your bank and they have already said they have received it. So, in the spirit of helping one another, viewers helping one another, if you have received your stimulus check, if you want to, drop into the live chat right now if you're watching live, received the stimulus check, and this is the bank I bank at. Don't say or any other information about your bank account, but simply Bank of Hillary, I received it, done. So other people who bank at Bank of Hillary may know that they are receiving it as well. Yesterday, I had one viewer who said his daughter and him bank at the same bank. She received her direct deposit last Friday. He had not received his. Should he be concerned? Absolutely not. Not at all. So what if you have not received your stimulus check this morning? It may still arrive throughout the day. What if it doesn't arrive later today? I have an update for you about that in a second. But here's what you need to know, is that the IRS tracking tool generally combined with the big banks has given us indication that March 17th was the big date to start to process or clear $1,400 third stimulus checks. Some banks may show it post today, some banks may show it pending today, and other banks may show it clear tomorrow. It just depends on the bank. I have more about those details in a second, but let me cut to something really huge that's happening right now. It's this individual. And who is this? This is Jerome Powell. Jerome Powell is the head of the Federal Reserve. And I got to tell you, there's a lot of news today. And this news story would have been absolutely my lead story had it not been stimulus checks. What you're watching here is not footage from today, but footage from February and January, in which Jerome Powell delivered what was then called the FOMC notes. He's doing the same thing today. These notes that are going to be released shortly after the markets close today on the West Coast in just a few hours will determine the fate of your fourth stimulus checks. Why? Because during this pandemic, the Federal Reserve has been providing stimulus three ways. One, the Federal Reserve has been buying mortgages. Second, the Federal Reserve has been buying bonds. And third, the Federal Reserve has been keeping interest rates flat. Today, the Federal Reserve will announce whether it's changing any of those three policies. If it changes one of those three policies, it may signal that forced stimulus is no longer much a big issue. If it doesn't, it means that forced stimulus is really still hugely important. Now remember, forced stimulus has the push of nearly 100 Democrats in the House and Senate of monthly stimulus checks for 6 months at least of about $2,000. Yes, this is a big issue. This is a huge issue. It is not pie in the sky. It is based in a lot of reality, and the numbers are really unclear. And that's why this statement today by the Federal Reserve will be so critical. Jerome Powell is having to address the public about how strong this economy is, number one, where he thinks unemployment numbers will go, number two, and where inflation is expected to go. Goldman Sachs, which is a major bank, thinks that GDP will grow 7% for this year, that unemployment will drop to nearly normal levels. But that's not what other people think. There's belief that the Federal Reserve may say GDP 7%, unemployment 5%, and inflation 2%. What does this mean for your stimulus? I'll have more about that in a second. But let me cut back to the direct deposits that are happening today. The direct deposits that are happening today will be happening throughout the day. So if you're on Direct Express card and you don't see a posting this morning, don't worry, it may post later today. But what happens if you go to the end of today and you still don't see a deposit post for direct deposit today? Whether you are a normal bank customer, big bank, commercial bank, credit union, or Direct Express card, what should you think then? Here's what you're first hearing from me only on this channel. It doesn't mean anything. There are three things that could happen. One, it posts tomorrow. Two, it posts later this week. And when I mean post, I mean direct deposit. Or three, another factor which no one has ever told you until today, but I've mentioned it once before, in December. What is that? I'll tell you that in a second. But here's the message that the White House wants you to know, is that all Americans are getting their stimulus check within 10 days. Here is a message delivered by the president yesterday, assuring the American public that within 10 days of last Thursday, you will get your stimulus check, whether paper check or direct deposit. Let's hear his comments again.
We're going to reach two goals in the next 10 days. 100 million shots in people's arms. 100 million shots. And 100 million checks of $1,400 or more in people's pockets within the next 10 days. We're on the way. Help is on the way.
This is a big statement because basically what the president is saying is that within the 10 days after the bill became law, you're getting a stimulus check. Now, you want direct deposit. You set up direct deposit. And you would expect to get a stimulus check by direct deposit before a paper check person. But guess what? It doesn't always happen that way. So for the first time ever on this channel, I'm going to explain to you that even if you do not receive it by direct deposit by Friday, which we're currently still not at, there is another thing that you should expect happening. When would you get your stimulus check then? I have all those details coming up in a second, but first, here's a little bit about today's programming schedule. Stay with me. I'll be back in 60 seconds with big updates about what's happening later this week for direct deposits of your stimulus check. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.lalate.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on Mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. Who has received their direct deposit so far? Which banks have delivered it and which have not? I have all the details for you right now. Also, during the commercial break, I saw some of your comments. They were very helpful to other viewers and certainly helpful to me. And I'm delivering them on air right now. Viewers during the commercial break said that the following banks had not yet delivered direct deposit to some of them. and others said they had. Let me go over those details. First, last Friday, consumers that used Chime and Cash App had received stimulus checks. Now, I do know that at least a couple of viewers told me that as of yesterday, they had still not received Chime deposits. This morning, viewers started DMing me and saying they had received direct deposit from Bank America. But in the chat just now, some consumers said they are on Bank America and they had not received direct deposit. So that's an example of a situation where I have one viewer and another viewer that both bank at the same bank. One said they got it early before sunrise, and another said has still not seen it at 9 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. That is how information helps one another, because ultimately, if you shop at the same bank and someone else says they have gotten it and someone else says they have not, yours will be coming as well. Direct Express continues to not have delivered stimulus checks that I see from the comments of the video. And then some people have mentioned other banks like Chase have yet not to deliver stimulus checks as well as them. If you've not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Also like this video, because you see what I'm doing throughout the day is I'm pooling your information. You are the best source of information. You are the person on the street, as they would say in news broadcasting, the man on the street. The way you know an event occurs is you ask the guy that saw the event. And you're the people that are experiencing the event. So when I ask you, did you get it? No. Who do you bank at? This. I did get it. Oh, who do you bank at? That. That is the best way we know when we're getting the stimulus check. Now, here's something for the first time ever you're hearing on this channel. If you don't receive the stimulus check by direct deposit tomorrow, you absolutely could receive it tomorrow. You could, by today, you could absolutely receive it tomorrow. But if you don't receive it by tomorrow, or even the end of this week, or the start of next week, then what? Here is a major twist you're hearing right now. In December, I saw countless viewers, and I also saw a quote from IRS that said, for reasons unclear, some people who got a first stimulus check by direct deposit and still have that bank account, still use the bank account, everything's fine with the bank account, did not receive the second stimulus check by direct deposit, and instead it came by paper check. IRS was asked to explain in December under the Trump second stimulus check, why were some people who were set up for direct deposit getting paper checks? IRS had no explanation. So that is something you're hearing for the first time on this channel this year. I delivered it on December when it was happening, but this is the first time you're hearing it this year. This is really big news, that if we go to the end of this week and we go to the start of next week, and you think that your direct deposit has always worked fine, it worked fine in the past, it worked for one of the prior stimulus checks, but you still haven't gotten the stimulus check deposit, it may be coming by direct. It may be coming by paper check. Now, this is the great news. Under second stimulus, if I was to say paper check to you, that may have drawn a, oh no reaction, because some people, well, generally under second stimulus, paper checks took 3 weeks after it became law. This time, we don't have that concern because the president's message this time is within 10
shots.
Days.
And 100 million checks of $1,400 or more in people's pockets within the next 10 days.
This is huge news. So even if you are worried that maybe you're going to paper check instead of not direct deposit, you're still getting it next week. If you listen to the video as I interpret the video, the president's referring to when it became law. It became law last Thursday. 10 days from last Thursday is next week. So under the worst case scenario, if you are a direct deposit recipient and are expecting to come by direct deposit and don't see it by the end of the week, it may come next week with all the paper check people. I'll have more about that in a second, but let me cut to the other huge breaking news. I got to tell you, everyone from Wall Street to the White House, from Main Street to everyone across the board is watching what's happening today with the Federal Reserve. It is so important because it will determine what's going on with this economy. Are we going forward at a normal pace? Are we going to see massive inflation or not? Where is this economy going? We're going to see in the next few hours from Jerome Powell, this person, a statement of whether the Federal Reserve thinks this economy is growing too quickly, is seeking inflationary growth, or is relatively fine and calm. Wells Fargo, in a statement this morning, said this will likely be the Fed's first step in the less accommodative direction as they move to start the stage for a eventual policy tightening. Another analyst says it's going to be interesting because how do you upgrade GDP forecasts and your inflation forecasts, but then say unemployment's not there? And finally, another person says they do not want to suggest that things are better. On the other hand, they do want to suggest that things are better. On the other hand, they don't want to suggest they're going too well. It's a tricky communication. Meantime, also tricky is how to pitch your stimulus check. And overnight, the White House started its tour across the country. Also starting the tour is Chuck Schumer. This is a new recent video from Chuck Schumer explaining the impact of the $1,400 stimulus check with the two Georgia senators and what their thoughts are on the stimulus check arriving today. Here's that video.
Without them, we wouldn't have gotten it done.
Well, thank you, Brother Leader, and you're very kind to say that, and I'm deeply honored to work alongside you and to be here just a few weeks and to see something really happen for the American people. And I certainly agree that this would not have happened without the people of Georgia. And so among the things in this plan, people are getting $1,400 checks right into their pockets, the earned income tax credit. And we know that when working people get relief, get support, they buy essential items like coats for their kids, food, medicine, baby diapers. That helps them and it helps the economy.
You bet. John.
It's unclear whether the Democratic senators from Georgia have heard the news, because that's actually not what's coming across the news wires. A new report polled young adults, and it was shocking. It said no less than 40% of young adults may spend their stimulus check on Bitcoin. Now, also surprising is the statement by the Georgia senator that the wonders of the $1,400 third stimulus check package is that you're getting an earned income tax credit right away. Untrue. The earned income tax credit, the $1,502 for essential workers, the hazard pay-ish provision, does not pay out until 2021. Also, these are the two Democratic senators who promised $1,400 stimulus checks on top of $2,000 stimulus checks, not $1,400 stimulus checks as arriving today. That's why a series of Democrats have now stepped forward, no less than 100 of them in both the House and Senate, demanding that the next stimulus package have reoccurring stimulus checks every month for at least approximately $2,000, and that could be 6 months of close to $12,000 to $16,000. Now, while you may think this is a huge number, it's no longer a huge number in this presidency. The president has already signaled that he wants to spend $3,000 a child for 18 years. And with that approach to spending, the Democrats have stepped forward and say, fine, if you want to do that, then you need to start paying reoccurring stimulus checks, a stimulus check every month until the end of the year. What's important to understand is that if you're watching, this is you. If you're on SSI or SSDI, this is you. If you make less than $45,000, this is you. And if you make less than $75,000, this is you also. $2,000 a month to the end of this year is a lot more than hazard pay. It's a lot more than FPUC retro, and it's a lot more than even SSI and SSDI at $2,400. It's 5 times the amount. So as the Purple Power, we certainly need to stay behind these people as they push the White House to get this forced stimulus package out the door. Meantime, let's cut back to that stimulus check that could be arriving today. Here's a message I want to deliver to you, very important, is that the $1,400 stimulus check may post at any time throughout the day. When should you think that this is the last time to really look for it? Today, on St. Patrick's Day. Well, certainly after you've had that second green beer, you should probably stop looking. Because when you log in, maybe you'll see 2 of them. Wait, I see 2 stimulus checks deposited. No, honey, you've had too many green beers. But And I certainly hope if you do get the stimulus check, you don't spend it and the next morning say, what I spend it on? Honey, you don't remember? You had too many green beers. Oh, darn it. This is what I recommend, is that the stimulus check could still post anytime throughout the day, all the way to really the end of business where you are locally. So anywhere around 5 o'clock. And then we start the new process tomorrow, starting to look for tomorrow as well. So do not lose hope if it's early in the morning or if you're watching the show taped late in the day. Meantime, this is another very important message I have to deliver. If you do receive the money, the $1,400 at any time, whether it's today or tomorrow, consider not withdrawing the money at an ATM machine. I have a lot of viewers who are of advanced age, and I got to tell you, I deeply worry for anyone that attempts to withdraw $1,400 at a public ATM on a street corner with traffic driving by. This is how it looks. If you're withdrawing at an ATM, it will be 14 $100 bills. Any pickpocket knows exactly what 14 $100 bills look like a block away, because people may be doing it throughout the day. Please don't withdraw at an ATM, especially if you're at advanced age. Do this. Go inside the bank, go to the bank teller, and present them whatever has the money on it. If it's a card, like a debit card, most banks will allow you to withdraw the funds for free. Ask them ahead of time. And in worst case scenario, it's $5 or $10. When you have them withdraw the funds, have them in smaller bills, like $20 or $10. Don't do $100 bills. And ask for an envelope and put it all in a white envelope, unmarked, not a bank envelope that has the bank's name, but just a white envelope, and put it in your pocket. I deeply worry about millions and millions of Americans withdrawing $1,400 on street corners today in open view where pickpockets may be watching to pounce at any of those comings across the board. Meantime, let me go to something else that's really happening, which is huge. A new report from Ford this morning says that Ford will allow its workers to continue to work from home. Wow, this is incredible, great news. Ford will announce this morning from Keystone Robinson, its chief employee experience officer, that of its 86,000 employees, some will be able to work remotely or in a hybrid environment. The nature of the work that we do is really going to give a guiding element. If there's one thing we've learned over the last 12 months is that a lot of assumptions go around work and what employees need to shift. Also shifting is some big money, and it involves Snap. Snap, the very popular social media platform, and whose stock this channel has been saying is a big buy on this next dip, acquired this morning Fit Analytics, a Berlin company that'll help determine what size of clothing you're buying when you buy it online. This was a statement issued by Fit Analytics on the Snap purchase today. Our main focus going forward will be to scale the Fit Analytics business and work with Snap. You're looking at Evan Siegel, head of Snap, on this video. And to grow the shopping platform, leveraging our technology and our experience. Elsewhere, also at issue, is where is this pandemic going and where is the virus going? Dr. Fauci addressed the situation in recent comments, saying that there could be a third wave and that even with St. Patrick's Day, everyone should be careful.
We also are very, very much involved in trying to get better access for the minority populations. It is, not just the idea of hesitancy, but the fact that we have been, and you've heard the president himself say very clearly that with the community vaccine centers, with the community health centers, with the pharmacies that we're giving vaccine to, particularly in areas where minorities are represented, as well as the mobile units that are going out. So we are right now being very actively in going out in a proactive way to make sure that any inequities that exist, we can then essentially eliminate them. And that will be one of the things that are now going forward, we're putting a lot of effort into.
Also heating up today and tomorrow is the vice president. She, like the president and the first lady and the vice president's husband, are touring the country and addressing how the $14 stimulus check could help millions of Americans. Those comments were among the issues she addressed in yesterday's briefing.
United States lead our local, state, and national governments, make major decisions regarding our nation's security, and drive major growth in our economy. These are signs of progress. These are signs of strength. But friends, we cannot take this progress for granted, especially now. COVID-19 has threatened the economic security, the physical security, and the health of women everywhere. As women struggle to get the health care they need, the pandemic appears to be reversing the global gains we've made in the fight against HIV/AIDS, tuberculosis, malaria, malnutrition, and maternal and child mortality.
And with that, the push continues across the country as millions of Americans await their $14 stimulus check landing in their bank account today. Guess what? I'm with you throughout mornings, noontime, and afternoon. And throughout the day, I'll be updating you as more viewers deliver the informative news of their receipt of the stimulus check. Coming up next is a standalone show about Direct Express card. I'll be going over the Direct Express card and I'll be interacting with you live on air. So if you are on SSI or SSDI or Social Security or Railroad benefits and or use the Direct Express card, join me in that live chat coming up right after this. Then, right after that video, I will be going over more about what's happening with the tracking tool. And is there a way to track the stimulus check as we go into tomorrow? Those big details are coming up on a big morning of Mornings LALATE. Thank you for appreciating the lack of greenness that I have. I wish it was more green, the shirt is. I tried my best. Oh, and one message I wanted to say. It's actually very funny, but in spring or summer of 2020, when I was filming outside in front of a green hedge, viewers always said, why don't you ever wear green? And I said, because it washes out my face and makes me look very strange when I was filming in natural light. During that time, several viewers said, when we get our second stimulus check, will you wear green? Well, by that time, as December came upon, I forgot to do it. So it's ironic that today on St. Patrick's Day, I'm fulfilling a lot of wishes of some viewers from spring and summer of 2020 who said, the day in which we get our stimulus check, can you please wear green? And guess what? If I can find some more green, I'll wear it tomorrow to give you good luck. I'm not a leprechaun. I only play one on TV. That your stimulus check may come by direct deposit tomorrow as well. Stay with me as Mornings LALATE continues on LALATE.